All right. We're on episode 44.
A chilly one this week.
I like that plug.
We talk about the 6 first-time homebuyer incentives that buyers can take advantage of.
Yeah.
And then we correct ourselves because the government killed one of them on Friday.
There we go.
So there's actually 5 incentives now.
5 incentives for the first-time home buyers. We get into some, how was your week and where did you eat?
Yeah, it's a chilly one. We go to the Othership and do some ice bathing.
Yeah. And then we get into some news you can use with some shady things that are happening in the real estate industry.
Never a dull moment in real estate. Also an extension to the first time. No, not the first time. There's so much first time talk in this. I messed that up. We get into the extension of the vacant home buyer tax.
Yes.
Now have until March 15th.
There you go.
And then Joey covers 6 really good incentives.
All right.
Cool. Enjoy the show.
Enjoy. Welcome to the Toronto Livings Podcast, a conversation about all things Toronto with a focus on real estate, the culture, and of course, the food.
I'm Mark Savel.
And I'm Joey Virgilio.
And we're realtors with Sage Real Estate working together as a Toronto Livings team with a focus on helping you buy better, sell higher, and of course, having a little bit of fun along the way. Hey, Joey.
Hey, Mark.
How you doing?
I am good. How are you doing?
Feeling good. Episode 44.
We're on episode 44. It's
Yeah.
we're pretty far into it.
We actually had our 1-year anniversary.
Did we? Oh,
End of Feb, early March is when we did.
early March. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. We're
Yeah.
in early March right now.
Yeah.
Happy 1 year.
Same to you. Thank you. Happy 1 year, Joey. We're going to get into today with 6 first-time homebuyer incentives.
That's right.
Well, maybe 5.
Yeah.
But
as we wrote the notes for this podcast,
something changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's start off like we always do. How was your week? What did you eat?
yeah. This week we did some stuff this week.
We did.
Yeah. We went out to Othership
We did.
in Yorkville. They held their very first realtor event, and yeah, it was a blast actually.
It was a chilly blast.
It was a chilly blast.
Interesting concept. It was a networking event for realtors.
Yeah.
Which I generally don't enjoy.
Yeah.
But I was like, let's just try something new.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's jump into the cold and meet some realtors. And I met a couple. It was kind of pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I met a mortgage specialist from Scotia while I was there.
Nice. I met a guy named JJ from EXP Realty. I think that was his name. I was like shivering. It's like
It's hard to think when you're in that mindset.
Yeah. So if anyone doesn't know what Othership is, it's an ice plunge, ice bath. I don't know, not a gym.
No, it's almost like it's like a spa space almost.
Yeah.
So they basically have cold plunge on one side. They have a sauna on another side, and then a kind of a tea lounge in the middle.
Yeah.
So there's a three-way thing that happens.
Yeah.
Pretty big space, and pretty much you go into the ice bath. You do your thing you're supposed to hit for about 3 minutes, and then head into the sauna and re-warm back up.
Yeah.
It's very intense.
It is. And we had Haley come out with us as well.
Yes. Shout out to Haley Reed.
Haley Reed. Oh, we're doing full name?
Oh, okay. Haley R.
Okay.
I'm going to cut that part.
No. Let the world know. Haley Jade Reed.
Oh, is that her middle name?
Yeah, Haley Jade Reed. That's her Instagram account.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's...
Oh, she's still not going to like that. But we love Haley.
Here we go.
Yeah. She's great. She came out. She was a trooper. She did 2 minutes right off the hop.
She did.
Yeah, in there. And it was probably, what would we say, like 75 people there?
Yeah. It was pretty packed.
25.
Yeah.
Makes about good sense.
Makes good sense, yeah.
And they split us up. So we kind of did it wrong because we were like brave and we went right into the ice bath, no sauna. Like the first thing we did, we all did ice bath. And then we did sauna for a bit and then we did ice bath again. And then they're like, great, you're going to start in the ice bath, which was intense. We actually did double dipping.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Yeah. We shared a tub too.
We shared a tub. Yes. We took this relationship to another level. We ice bathed together.
I don't know about you, but I was completely wired until like 2 a.m. that night. Yeah.
So the networking event was at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And it was like 2:30. I'm like, so much things I want to do. I think I did my accounting.
I did all my taxes are done.
Amazing. Mapped out the year ahead. It was incredible.
And then also, actually, we did a lot this week.
Yeah,
we went to Dairy Freeze,
the legendary Dairy Freeze.
First time I've been.
It's okay. You're never too young to start Dairy Freeze.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved every second of it. They did not skimp on the tzatziki.
Oh, garlic breath for days.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
yeah.
I was standing about 6 feet back when I talked to Molly when I got back.
The clumps of onions they put in, like 2 things of onions. Oh, it's incredible.
Love it.
St. Clair and Caledonia, if you've never been, it's got that authentic diner feel to it.
Yes.
They've been around since my parents' times. Like my parents, when they were dating, used to go to Dairy Freeze.
It's written like that. Yeah.
Iconic,
It's
yeah.
Very much, it's got that Burger Shack vibe.
Yeah.
That Homestar vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those big comfy seats you sit on, you can jump up and down on them. It's like an old Cadillac. If you've never been, I highly suggest it. Get the gyro.
Yeah.
Also, the steak sandwich is really good.
I got to try that the next time I go.
The onion rings are insulated with like, I don't know, 3 inches of breading. Like those are thick onion rings.
They were. Yeah.
You get 5 in an order, and really that's all you need.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. I'm so glad I got water instead of a Coke to drink it all down.
That was it. Anything you want to add to it?
No, I think that was definitely a highlight meal for me going to Dairy Freeze. I think my heart was the next day. My doctor's like, "Yeah, your cholesterol's a little high." I'm like, "You know what, doc? It's not a surprise to me." So that was good. We're working on a listing. We're gonna have more on that in the coming weeks. But yeah, it's been a busy week for us to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna just put a pin in it right there.
Yeah. All right, let's transition to some news you can use.
Let's do it.
News you can use.
Do.
Love it.
Kept it clean.
Very neutral. All right. So did you see the WhatsApp convo that's been going viral in the real estate world?
Sadly, I have, but please tell the listeners what we're talking about.
Okay. So recently I had this sent to me by my cousin, and recently there was a conversation that went down between a realtor and somebody,
a friend,
whatever it is, and they were offering pretty much $250 to $500 in order for that friend to put a dummy offer on a listing that might have had multiple offers. $250 for 5 offers. So basically, put 5 offers around the GTA. We can give you up to $500.
So stupid.
Unreal that this is happening. This guy didn't partake.
Yeah.
In fact, he actually posted it.
He outed the realtor. But didn't mention the name.
No, the name was grayed out.
Yeah.
I guess he's trying to keep his. That is one of the most shady things I think I've heard. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that this stuff happens.
Yeah.
But to make a business out of it, to go as far as saying, hey, this guy also went on to say that they've got 15 guys doing this throughout the GTA.
So bad.
Unreal that this is a thing.
Do you believe it? Do you think it's real?
You know what? Whether that conversation was real or not, I believe something like
of that nature is happening.
Yeah.
I don't want to believe it's real, but I do think that this is a real situation that happened. And I do think that there are realtors paying randoms to make dummy offers. But there is a simple solution around it. You could just have an open bidding system.
Look at that, eh?
Right?
Yeah.
We're now allowed to do it. I've not seen anyone try that yet.
That you've been in?
Yeah. I've been in since June, Jan 1st?
December 1st, wasn't it?
Whatever day they enacted it, I've probably been in at least 10 bidding wars. Mm-hmm. Not one has done an open bidding system.
They're still keeping the old. I think that's a lot of realtors not wanting to learn the ins and outs of it and staying away from trouble.
Yeah.
I can see that conversation going on with clients. They just know what's tried and true and keep running with that idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. That cuts this whole thing out.
Yeah. Just keep it open. That way, if someone is, because in the WhatsApp message, the screenshots that they shared, the realtor that was trying to convince this person to do a fake bid, he's like, "Oh, don't worry. It's going to be a dummy offer, super low price. It'll never get accepted."
Yeah.
But I mean, what if it does? Also, there's ways you can get out of it, but it's just, oh God.
Lots of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All sketchy, all super sketchy, and I hate seeing it.
Yeah. And so just talk to your realtor, see what your options are for doing an open bid system. If you are comfortable with it, that could be one easy way of making everyone feel very comfortable about the situation.
Yep. Yeah.
You remember how we were telling like everybody for the last 60 days to pay their vacant home tax?
Yes.
Well, you're getting an extension.
Yeah. I didn't expect this to come. I'm not going to lie to you.
Same. I thought they shouldn't have. I thought they should have just like let everyone learn the lesson the hard way. And maybe you could be a little bit lenient with issuing, like if someone finds out the hard way, you could like give them a break.
Yeah.
But they're extending it, not super long. You have until now, March 15th.
Yes. Yeah. They pushed it a little bit. I really, really was not expecting this. And I was texting people on February 9th being like, guys, did you do this yet? I sent the link via text.
Were you? You're a good guy. I gave up. I was like, I've said this so many times. I sent up newsletters, text messages, WhatsApp groups. I changed my Facebook status. You still don't get the message. I mean, it's on you at this point. But it's clearly not because you have another 15 days to make it right. And please, if you haven't, go do it.
Yes.
Takes all of, what did your client say? Thanks. This took
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Yeah.
2 minutes to do.
All of 2 minutes. So yeah, big proponent of everyone getting this done on time and saving some money.
All right, we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes.
Let's do it.
All right.
You love meat and potatoes. I realize you say that a lot.
I do say that a lot.
You love meat and potatoes. We gotta come up with like chicken wings and fries.
Yeah. Okay.
Peanut butter and jelly, sushi and wasabi.
Some gyro with tzatziki.
Ooh, very topical. All right, let's get into the tzatziki and the gyro.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right.
I was not ready for this, but I'll transition time. You know why though? Because I just wanted to give a second to shout out Lisbon Hotel.
Oh.
Yeah, last week, if you've not listened to last week's episode, we were at the Lisbon Hotel, and I really missed that experience. We did our first live on location.
Yeah.
We were with Adam Hijazi of the Lisbon Hotel, and if you haven't seen it, we go through some of the food items that they're offering. We have a good talk about hospitality and kind of, we get into the shrimp and cocktail. How's that?
Oh, there you go.
Of what the Lisbon Hotel is all about, and I think we can do a few more of those. I want to try getting us doing an ice bath.
Oh man,
I'm gonna try. Let's see if they'll budge.
I'm in for it.
You down? Yeah. Live on location.
Live on location.
Podcast from an ice bath. All right, we'll see what we can do.
You can muster up any conversation while we're in the ice bath.
Yeah. So we're back at it this week with some real estate content.
Yeah.
And you put together a really good list of 6 homebuyer incentives.
Yeah. So if this is the first time homebuyers episode here, so we're going to go through all the incentives that exist in Ontario.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I didn't think there was 6. I knew there was a few, but that's a good amount.
You know, when I have conversations with people about it, it's always like, well, land transfer tax is the big one,
right?
And which is true, but there's other things that you could take advantage of that are little breaks, and like you might as well take advantage of it.
If you have it there, use it.
Yeah,
we'll get into it.
All right, so let's start with let's just start with the land transfer tax.
Yeah,
this is the big one. So in Ontario, when you purchase anything, when you purchase land, you get hit with, or property in general, you get hit with land transfer tax. Mm-hmm. In Toronto specifically, you get hit with this twice.
Correct.
The way that this gets calculated, it's a tiered system with the purchase price of what you're paying for. Yep. So it's a tiered system. The first $55,000 of your house gets taxed 0.5%, then goes from 55 to 250 at 1%, and then 250 to 400 at 1.5, and then anything above 400 is 2%. And now there's an addition.
Over 3 million. There's a whole other whack, which we won't get into because if you're a first timer buying over
Chances
3 million, 2 things, call us. 2, you have nothing to worry about. You got money.
So what the federal government has actually, but let me add this to it. So in Toronto specifically, this happens twice.
Yeah.
So this calculation that you run through actually there's a municipal level and a federal level, or a provincial level. Sorry, provincial level, and it's different across each province. Actually, in that case, Toronto it happens twice, but there is a rebate that comes with it. This is what they've added to it. So if you're a first-time purchaser, it's a one-time use rebate, and it is so there's a cap on it basically, and you can save up to $4,000 provincially, and then municipally it's up to $4,475.
Correct.
And those stack. So in total, you can save up to $8,475. If it's your first time purchasing. Pretty big savings in general. This is the one that everybody wants.
Yep.
This is the one everybody actually aims for. Quick example: if you're buying something that's $650,000, you're buying your first condo, your land transfer tax would equal out to $18,950. But if you do qualify for this, then you'd be spending $10,475.
Gets reduced by the $8,475 you mentioned.
It's cutting it in half pretty much. So
it's a huge savings.
Yeah, huge savings and really necessary to take advantage of.
Yeah, and over the years they have changed the way this plan works. Originally, you'd have to pay it up front, and then at the end, you'd get a rebate within 3 to 6 months. I think the city saw the inefficiencies of that. So this rebate gets applied right at closing. So you right off the hop, you don't have to come with the full $18,950 in this example.
Yep.
You see the savings, you only bring the reduced amount, and that makes it a lot easier. There is something that people do need to know, that if you've owned property anywhere else in the world, that you no longer qualify under this program.
Yeah.
And something else I learned with a client, if you're married and let's say the wife has owned a house, but the husband has not, the husband is not eligible for the rebate. Like you guys lose a rebate because the married spouse has already purchased.
Right. Yeah, this makes sense. Now, if they're so does it count if they're married while they've owned a house? But if they got married after one has owned a house, is that still the same situation?
If they got married, it depends when they buy the house. So this is how my wife tricked me into buying property together. We were not married yet. And she's like, oh, we need to save the land transfer tax. And since I have already owned property, she would still be eligible because we were not married.
At the time.
Yeah. Had we been married and we bought the loft, she wouldn't have got the rebate. So
right.
She did save me money, but net cost me. I love you, Pookie Bear. She listens to every episode for when she gets that little secret shout out. This is the moment.
Mark it. We're at 14 minutes here.
So just be cautious. If talk to your realtor, talk to a lawyer. If you are married and one spouse is owned and one hasn't, you probably will not get that. But there are also some exemptions. I remember one gentleman who purchased a property in the US, but a certain amount of time has lapsed when he had not owned a property. I don't know the specifics. I feel like it was about 5 years. He was eligible for that rebate again.
Because he owned in the US?
No, because a certain amount of time has passed when he did not own a property.
So on the government website, I looked into this.
Yeah.
It just says anywhere at any time. This is the one that I understand that has no time limit.
Okay.
All the others we're going to talk about has that 5-year stretch.
Okay. Maybe they change it. Yeah. This was a few years back, so it's possible.
Okay.
Yeah. So, just have that conversation with both the realtor and the lawyer so we get a better sense. But, best case, you're going to save about $8,500. Yeah. Worst case,
unfortunately, you're
paying the tax. Yeah. But this is all about first timers and we're only talking about about good things. So
yeah, that's exactly it. We're keeping it on the positive.
Keep it on the positive.
Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about, let's get into the second, which is the homebuyers plan.
The RRSP.
The RRSP.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the first one that came out. Mm-hmm. And basically it was a federal incentive, and it was to allow for people to pull from their RRSPs in order to pay as a part of their down payment.
Yeah.
They were allowed a smaller amount. Right now it's up to $35,000 that you can pull from your RRSP. And that money needs to be in your RSP at least 90 days prior to pulling it.
Yep.
But you have to, this is the caveat to this one, is you have to pay yourself back.
Yep.
So you can pull $35,000, but starting the second year after your purchase, you have to start paying 1/15 of that every year.
Provided, you take the whole amount. Right.
And eventually you pay yourself back. So if you max it out, if you do $35,000 and you pull right from your RSP to put as a down payment, your payment back is going to be $2,333 per year
for 15 years.
For 15 years.
Yeah, and then at the end of that 15, that 35 is back into your RSPs. Someone actually used that program to buy his first house.
Yep.
Good looking guy, about EA tall. It was me.
Yeah, there you go.
I used it when it was the amount was a little bit less. It was about 25,000. But what's important to note is you could use that for any part of the purchase. So if you want to use it for furniture, if you want to use it for renovations, that money doesn't have to go to the down payment. You do need I would say, give yourself about 3 to 5 days for the banks to process it. There's a few forms you have to sign, so don't leave it to the last minute, and make sure you have it in there for 90 days. I don't think I had even RSPs at the time, but then when I read about the program, I'm like, oh, let me use this. And so I had to adjust my closing to ensure it was there for that minimum 90 days, and I was able to be eligible for it. But it is a really good program. If you've been saving in your RSPs and you want that extra chunk of $35K, which can cover your furniture and a lot of other things, it's worthwhile.
Yeah.
And you have 2 years before you have to start to pay it back. So you can kind of ease into the home ownership life before adding that extra cost to you.
100%. And I'll add, if anybody doesn't know the RRSP benefit and the reason why you want to pull from there, is that it reduces. So when you contribute to it, you reduce your income.
Yep.
And you get hit less with income tax.
You try to move yourself into a lower marginal tax.
Exactly.
Rate.
So when you pull $35,000 out of that, you don't get taxed when you pull it out. You can put it to your whatever part of the process that you're adding it to, and it stays tax free as long as you pay yourself back.
Yeah, and RSPs are one of those things that if you ever do need to touch it for anything else aside from buying your first time home, you get dinged very aggressively.
Right.
So it is nice that you do have this one opportunity to actually use those savings today instead of waiting till you're 65 plus to touch upon it.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that plan. It's one we often highlight to buyers, and it's one I think everyone should use if you've got the 35 in your RSPs.
100%.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the new account that came
Yeah.
out. So this is the second incentive that actually can get paired with your RRSP.
Correct.
This is the FHSA.
Yeah, and you did a really good video on it.
I was going to say we should link it somewhere.
I don't know how to link it, but we will link it somehow. Probably in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll do show notes.
Yeah, Joey does a really good deep dive into this one, and we're going to kind of cover the high level of it.
Yeah. So put simply, it's another federal government incentive, and it is specifically made for first time home purchasers buying a home. You're not pulling it from an RSP and kind of setting it up that way. So
Yeah, it's a separate account. Maybe we should leave it that way.
Yeah, that's a good point to make. It's a separate account you can open up with your bank. It kind of takes the best of RRSP and TFSA. So when you do contribute to it, you reduce your income when it comes to income tax time. You're allowed to put in, and as an the TFSA side of it is that you can actually invest within that account, and you don't get taxed on the in the interest you make within the account.
Love it.
You're allowed to put $8,000 per year into this account, up into a max of $40,000. So $40,000 you can, if you have it filled up, which at this point nobody would. You can
Every year it's adding another 8,000. Got it. Okay.
So right now you should be at max 16,000 in that account. But if you pull out that amount, again, it's tax free. So you get a deduct from your income tax on the year you put it in, and then when you apply it to your home, you don't get taxed.
I love it.
So you're still in a good place. And the benefit of this is that you don't have to pay yourself back. So unlike the RRSP, you get to just spend it on your down payment, and then that's it.
Yeah. So I think if you're thinking of buying a property in the next year or two, this would be the first account I would start with. I would try to get this fill up my 8,000, and then move to my RSP and make sure I've got that filled up to a minimum of 35,000, because this is growing tax free with any investment you put it in. And you should also know, don't be like me and invest in weed stocks. This money is meant for you to buy your first place. So do go on more the conservative side. Maybe you won't get that 10 to 15% rate that you're hoping to chase after.
Yeah.
But slow money is good money. And it ensures that you will get to your goals a lot quicker instead of doing something risky. So just a little caveat with that. And start there. Start with the first time home. What is it? What's the acronym?
FHSA. Yeah. What's first home savings plan? No, first home savings account.
Oh, whatever. It's a mouthful. Great plans. Just that they need better marketing on these.
100%. Actually, when I was going through these and I was reading each name of these, I was like, they're all so closely.
Yeah.
Everything is so closely.
You got an S and an A in there. The A for the accounts, the S for savings. Just like buy home quicker.
Yeah. And then again, you compare this with your RSP. So max you can pull in total is going to be after everything's maxed out is 75,000. You can be tax free. So take advantage of it.
Yeah. So those saying like it's so hard out there. Yeah, it's hard, but there are these little tools that you should definitely be utilizing to help you get there a little bit quicker.
Yeah. Any plus one is a win.
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to go on to number 3 now. So number 3 is the first time home buyers tax credit.
Okay. Another weird acronym, HBTC.
HBTC. So this is pretty much, again, it's federal. It's to help offset the closing costs. It's not a ton, but this did increase recently. So pretty much when you're doing your taxes, in the year that you're doing your taxes, you can write an amount on, I'm going to say this line, 31270.
All right. Locked
on
in.
your tax papers. So it used to be you'd put $5,000 on that line, and the way that the calculation worked out is that you would get $750 as a tax credit back.
Okay.
They've now upped it to you can put $10,000 on that line, and you can save up to $1,500. $1,500 as a tax credit when you do your taxes.
Take it. Why not?
100%.
Cover one of your property tax bills, water bills, mortgage payments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not free money, but it's there for the taking. You might as well take it.
100%. Yeah. So anybody who's purchased this for the first time, this tax time is coming up right now. This is that moment you can claim it.
Yeah. So I guess the only caveat with this one is you would have to have already purchased a home for this incentive to be useful to you.
Yeah.
This is not like the other ones we mentioned which help you get to a home. This comes after you've purchased the home.
Correct. Yeah. Actually, good point in pointing that timeline out. Exactly. Qualifications. This is one of the ones where you can have owned a home for 4 years. 4 years plus the year that you purchase. Okay. So it's kind of like 5 years.
Okay.
And yeah, if you purchased with a spouse, so if you purchased with a spouse, only one of you needs to qualify. Doesn't need to be both of you. And also that $10,000 you can split between the two of you.
Okay.
So if you wanted to do half and half or whatever the case.
Love it.
All right. And then we're going to get into.
Let's save this one for last. We're going to get into the GST New Housing Rebate. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So the GST HST New Housing Rebate.
Yeah.
This is specifically if you're buying something new or doing major renovations or building a house, but let's cater it a little more to probably like
Pre-construction.
Pre-construction.
I like that. Yeah.
So this is a provincial rebate.
Incentive. Yep.
Yeah. And it is, there's two ways you go about it. So there's if you purchase a pre-con and you're planning to live in it as your primary residence, and then there's you purchase a pre-con and you're planning on renting it out.
Okay.
This is an opportunity for a rebate in both respects. If it's your primary residence, it pretty much, the way you hope that it gets set up is that the builder is who applies for it.
Okay.
So this means it doesn't have to come out of your pocket when you close.
They take care of all the logistics.
Yes.
Got
This
it.
just gets deducted from the final price. If you're renting it out, you have to be prepared to pay this. It could be savings up to $30,000.
Wow.
So if you're paying the full closing costs on final closing, you could get that rebate. It needs to be applied for 2 years after final closing.
You have up until 2 years to apply for it. Got it. Okay.
And yeah, it takes I think 4 to 8 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, to get the actual money back in your account. But you need a year-long lease if you have a renter in there.
Got it.
And that year-long lease needs to start at final closing or close to final closing, because there's this moment with pre-construction where you have interim occupancy.
Right.
That's the first technical close-in, but you don't actually get that mortgage yet. If you lease it out right away and it takes a year to close, you still need to rent it out for a year post closing.
Good to know.
Yeah. So yeah, be aware. But it's you have 2 years to claim it. So as long as you have a renter in there for at least that year after or close to that year after, you should be okay.
Okay. I like that.
I'm gonna plug rebate for you.
Yes.
If you're
Rebate for you, the company. You're not telling me you're going to give me everything. There's a company called Rebate for You.
Yes.
And Joey's suggesting you reach out to them.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Very good at, if you just have inquiries.
Yeah.
They're really quick to respond. They're great with information. They've been doing it and for a long time.
Well over a decade. I've been using them for quite some time, and they've got all the data, all the knowledge when it comes to this rebate stuff.
Yeah. So if you want a no-brainer, you can just have them handle the whole thing for you.
For a small fee, they'll take care of it all.
Yeah. And for a rebate of 20, let's say $24,000.
Yeah. It's a very modest amount to pay them for what you're getting back, and it saves you a ton of time. Also note, your accountant can also file this for you. I've had my accountant do it in the past, but I think Rebates for You, if you're a first timer or this is your first go at it, is a really good place to start because they really take the time to explain how it all works.
What the situation is. Yeah, totally. I think that's kind of this also applies if you're building a new home or if you're doing major renovations
where HST is applicable.
Yeah, exactly. Or if you buy something, anything that's new, I think if it's new or you're doing major work to it, then just look into it.
This rebate could apply to you. Yeah. But most people experience it through buying pre-construction.
Yeah.
That's where you see it the most. Let's talk about something interesting that happened this week. So Joey put together the show notes. He sent it to me. I'm taking a look at it. And lo and behold, CP24 sends out a tweet that the first time, what's this one called? Yeah. The first time home buyer incentive is no longer. Friday afternoon, the powers that be decided we're killing this program. It is dead. And it's caused a lot of confusion. I don't know if you saw like SixBuzz and a few other websites up there.
I've seen a lot of people post about this.
People think that they've lost the
land transfer
tax credit. You have not. We're here to set the record straight. People think they've lost the first-time home buyer tax credit. You have not. The new program that they set up, whatever acronym it's called, you have not lost that either. You've only lost this program, which...
It's just awful program.
Which is stupid to begin with. I mean, we'll get into it because I think it's worth noting what it was.
Yeah.
What I'll say is this program was meant to help 100,000 people. Effectively, only 19,000, less than 19,000 people actually used this program.
Yeah.
And here's why. The government will invest with you. So if you have a smaller down payment, they will give you 5 to 10% of your down payment to help you get to home ownership sooner. But they also share in the equity growth of your property. So if you were to sell it, they do get part of that money back.
Yes.
Right off the hop, I'm like, investing with the government in my principal residence.
Immediately, like, red flag. Yeah.
It just sounds odd. I mean, like, they always say, like, be careful when you're investing with friends and family. I'm going to invest with the government? Like, I don't know. It was an odd program to start with. I think you said it launched in 2019.
Yeah, it was 2019 when it came out, and it was also the qualifications were pretty tough. It were pretty tough. It was it's 100. You needed to make under 150,000 a year combined household income. And also, if I'm not mistaken, the house wasn't allowed to be 4 times your income.
Okay.
More than 4 times your income. So it was tough to qualify for.
Right.
It was, I wouldn't advise you getting in bed with the government when it comes to your primary residence.
Right.
And also I just want to bring this up because this is the one that's called first time home buyer incentive.
Okay.
And this is the news headline that hit. And I think this is why the confusion is. It's these god awful names that they keep choosing on these names. That sounds like every incentive.
Well, they all have the word first time in it.
Yeah.
They sprinkle the word home somewhere in it. And then there's either account, incentive, or plan. Yeah. So you're like, shit, which one am I losing now? Thankfully, we're losing the weakest link. This one was hardly used. And in Toronto, it would only apply for a property if you're saying 150 times 4 of 600,000, which is a very starter 1-bedroom condo, maybe even a studio in some pockets of the city. It does not apply for houses at all.
No.
Townhomes, houses, that's out of the question. And I think that's why so few people used it. It was a confusing program.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of confusion with it in general. With the cap that if when the appreciation happens, how much do you pay out at the end of it? Yeah.
This was what gets me. Like, did they not do like a focus group? Like, could they not have picked 10 realtors, 12 realtors across Canada and be like, what do you guys think of this? Would you advise it to your client? Because I think they would have heard a resounding no.
Absolutely.
And also, like, who comes up with this? Like, I got it. We're gonna fix housing. We're gonna create this FTHI program that's really gonna just, it was terrible to begin with, top to bottom. Thank God, RIP. Never want to talk about this again.
Yeah.
I really hope a second version doesn't like rise from the ashes.
Yeah, there's gonna be some modified version of it. Yeah.
Just forget about that. Get it out of the system.
Yeah. For those that, I'll put this out there. For those that actually were like, I was banking on this. Your deadline is March 21st.
Okay, so there's still hope. You have approximately 19 days.
Yeah, but that needs to be in the administrator's hands by that date. So make sure you send the mail now.
Right. Yeah, and just get it out of your system.
Yeah.
Just forget about that one. I think that's good. So we said there are 6 incentives, but as of Friday, there's actually only 5.
As of writing these notes, there's 5.
Do you want to give a summary?
Yeah, let's do it. So number 1 is your land transfer tax rebate. That's saving up to, in Toronto, that's saving up to $8,475.
Love it.
Your number 2 is your home buyers plan, your RSP plan. You can pull from that. You can pull up to $35K, so you can be tax-free on that. And then your third is the FHSA.
Yep.
You can pull up to $40K whenever that time actually arises.
Yep. So if you combine the two, you're up to about $75K.
Yep. And then you have your number 4, first-time home buyers tax credit.
Yep.
Get your $1,500 after you purchase.
Yep. So that's one of the ones that comes after the fact. So you've done the first 3, you've saved up a little bit of money, and now you can apply this within the first, was it 2 years you said? First year.
This tax credit?
Yeah, you get it within the first year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then lastly, if you bring, pre-cons.
Yeah.
Anything pre-con, there's an HST rebate that you're
eligible for.
And it can be up to $30,000.
Yeah. Does that apply for one condo or anytime you buy a pre-con? I feel like that happens anytime you buy a pre-con.
The rebate.
Yeah. That's not a first-time home buyer thing. That's just a buyer thing.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, if you're a buyer, it's a nice little thing. This one applies to every buyer of a new construction. You can get that rebate.
Still a rebate to take advantage of. Yeah.
Like that.
All right.
Shout outs?
Shout out Dairy Freeze.
Shout out Dairy Freeze.
Shout out Dairy Freeze.
Speaking of freeze, shout out Othership.
nice connection.
Shout out Haley Jade Reed.
Shout out Haley Jade Reed for being a trooper.
Yep. Shout out, I'm going to shout out Rebecca, her partner.
Okay.
Who owes us a Mandy salad.
I guess we're going to, yeah.
Because she didn't come.
She did.
We love you, Rebecca. We look forward to our salad. Should we shout out Marky for coming to the ice bath?
Absolutely.
Marky's the spirit of the podcast that's never on camera, but always just behind the camera. He also came to the ice bath.
Yeah, he did.
Did you stay up late that night? You could just nod. Yeah, he did too.
Wired.
One day we're going to catch him on the camera. One day soon. No, he's nodding his head. And shout out this great list you put together of all the home buyer incentives.
Yep.
For those who don't know, Joey's kind of the guy who handles all the buyers in the Toronto Living's empire. And when you are sitting down to talk about a new purchase, Joey can definitely run you through these programs in a little bit more detail and tell you all you need to know to keep some of those dineros in your pocket.
I like that. Dineros.
Yeah. Dinero. Which part do you like about that?
Dineros.
Oh, Dinero.
Yeah,
I sound like a rapper?
Robert De Niro.
Oh,
yeah, that's where
Bobby.
my mind went.
I call him Bobby. We're on a first name.
Oh, Bobby.
Yeah,
Yeah,
De
I
Niro.
got you.
Yeah. You know who owns Nobu?
No.
The restaurant chain? Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he owns Nobu.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Do you know he also had a kid at like 80 years old?
No.
Facts.
No, no idea.
Him and Pacino both had kids.
De Niro. Give me your best De Niro impression.
Oof, best De Niro impression. I'm just thinking of the movie where it would come. But do you have a good one? As I try to.
De Niro?
Oh, that was a face.
Hold on. That's it.
No voice.
Yeah, no, I can't mimic his voice.
That was a good De Niro voice. De Niro face. Yeah.
Something like that.
Meet the Fockers.
Yeah, Meet the Fockers.
Oh man, use guys. Does he say that? Use guys. What's a good De Niro movie that I could?
Meet the Fockers is what comes to mind right now.
Yeah,
He did Goodfellas.
Goodfellas, he did. Yeah. Casino. Use people. I don't know. I gotta get back to you on that one. That's a good question.
All right, we'll hear it the next episode.
What about Pacino? You got a good Pacino? Scarface?
Say hello to my little. No,
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
I had it there for a minute.
Even when I lie, I tell the truth. Fly, pelican, fly. The worst Cuban accent I've ever heard. Both me and Pacino in Scarface. Great movie though.
I love it.
Oh, and one shout out to Ben from Mediarama because he guessed your Jackie Chan movie.
Did we not talk about this? Yeah.
We did not. No.
Mr. Nice Guy.
Mr. Nice Guy. He figured it out.
He figured it out. So there was a movie about nice.
Yes, you're correct on that. And he got the movie. And he's also a big Jackie Chan fan.
I love that.
Can you give me your best Jackie Chan impression?
Oh, good. We're not going to go here.
What's the song that he sings?
Oh, that's good.
That's just a dance. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to do a Jackie Chan impression.
Uno mas. Uno mas.
Yeah, with the bubbles. And shout out to his partner, Nagin, who had a birthday this week.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, the Mediarama crew. They do all of our media stuff, all of our photos.
100%.
Headshots, drone, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So shout out Mediarama.
Shout out Mediarama.
Yeah, we love them.
Yeah.
All right.
Leave
it there.
Let's leave it there.
All right. Thanks for listening to the Toronto Living's Real Estate Podcast. You could find more information on how we work over at torontolivings.com. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter to get price reports from over 150 different neighborhoods in the city each and every month.
If you got any value, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And if you made it this far, thanks for listening.